Hello, everybody. We are live on LinkedIn, YouTube. Welcome, everyone. How are you today, Natasha?
Hi, Sophie. I am doing well. I am looking forward to the holiday season, which will be without too much work and no work at all for 2 weeks, hopefully. How are you?
Good. I think that my computer needs some vacation too, because you were the witness to my last second technical problem. So I had to reboot last second, but thankfully we are live now. So, hello everyone, welcome. My name is Sophie Van Tigelen, and I'm an online course expert. I help established professionals build and launch successful courses with my self from the start method. My co-host today, like every month, is Natasha Guyot, video sorceress. Hello again.
Hello again. It was a pleasure.
And today's topic is how to increase your visibility using Streamyard's live videos on LinkedIn. So you may be wondering, well, why is it important to increase your visibility online? So, in 2023, social selling has become the norm, right? This means that in order to sell your offer, whether it's an online course or a cohort, a coaching program, a membership, you name it, you've got to invest time in building relationship with your audience first, building trust and having conversations, right? So what better way to do this than by going live on video? You will agree with me, Natasha, on this.
If I didn't agree with you with that, I would be doing a really poor job at being a video sorceress.
Exactly.
The video component. I mean, at this point, everybody and their cousin and all the research points at how so many more people consume video to do marketing research or even get to know what the brand, and as entrepreneur we are the brand, and make their decision. It's also, there's really a human component, and in that regard video helps get a better feel of how you may be leading a community, how you may be coaching, how you may be teaching if it's an online course, you name it. And the power of live video, just a couple of quick benefits of it, is that it doesn't have to take too much long. It can especially saves you time compared to pre-recorded video, because you need to know what you're going to talk about, have some bullet points, but otherwise you can show up, deliver, and then you're done. You do not have, unless you absolutely want to, spend hours editing. It's like
Mhm.
it's way easier, especially when as entrepreneurs we already have so much on our plate. So this is really good, and it also helps you get real time audience engagement, real time audience questions and feedback that can really be powerful for you to get a better understanding of what your audience needs and wants. And also, your audience are just like, oh, they're actually a human being behind the brand.
Right, right, right. So I see it like as an icebreaker, right? You give them a little bit, a little taste of yourself. They understand, how you talk, how you behave, how you conduct a teaching session. So it's really giving them a little taste. So yes, I know it can be very scary for a lot of us. I was very scared at the beginning. Actually, I remember a few years back, I was doing my first video recorded podcast. So I was on video. And as soon as the host asked me the first question, I went into a panic attack. I was so scared. So I've come a very long way from this,
I
but I
wouldn't have guessed.
understand. Sorry?
I wouldn't have guessed.
Oh my God. Oh my God, it was horrible. Anyway, so I want to say that going live on video, you can do it solo, but you can also do it in collaboration, like you and I are doing every month, Natasha. So for me, I'm not really the tech person in our duo, you are, but for me, there were two ways that I know to go live on video. First, there's Zoom, and then there's StreamYard. So when I met you, I was still using Zoom all the time to do my videos, my workshop, my webinars. And I liked it. I mean, I know how to handle Zoom, but the problem that I ran into on LinkedIn is that when you want to hold a webinar on Zoom, it means that you have to take people off platform. So I would use live event of LinkedIn to create the event, right? So to make sure that it's distributed into my feed. But then people would mark themselves as attending, thinking that it's going to happen right here on LinkedIn, when actually I was waiting for them on Zoom. Have you run into this problem before?
I mean, I'm guilty as charged. Just this week, there was like a co-working session with people I absolutely adore that I had marked my calendar. But somewhere in my mind, because we were always doing audio live before, I thought, and I should have known better than, it was on LinkedIn directly. Even I, who knows about that, I completely marked myself as attending. I put it on my calendar. I was ready for it. And then one of the co-hosts was just like, oh, here's the Zoom link, by the way, because we didn't make it really clear that we were out of, off of LinkedIn. So even I was used to that. I just completely blanked out. And so sometimes it's not even that we don't want to take the extra step. It's like, I adore these ladies. I was so excited for that, but it completely is the point.
So, and Sharon, hey, Sharon, I see your comment. She says, when it comes to anything, practice makes progress. Video is not different. Absolutely. And God knows there are ways to mess up when you start playing with the tech. So, okay, there is a way around if you really want to have a Zoom event. And I still have Zoom event for my really formal webinars. So the way around this is you have to go into everybody's DMs and tell them, hey, thank you so much. You mark yourself as an attendee for my event. But there is one more step. The event is actually happening on Zoom. If you would follow this link, and then you will be entered in all the emails and blah, blah, blah. So there is really an extra step there. And again, in terms of user experience, we want to make sure that it's the simplest and the easiest possible experience for our audience. So we want to remove that step. So you told me about Streamyard one day. I'm going to give the mic to you now.
Thank you. And just to close, on how Zoom still has its place, it's, say your formal webinar, or if you're going to do something that is really more workshop, or close group kind of approach, then Zoom still makes sense. But as you said, really making sure you do have the time to go into people's DM and check like almost every day who may have signed up. That's extremely important, because it's not just, I want to make it, more simple for the people who are coming, but you also want, most of the time, if it's just having a live session like we have and really draw an audience, like a public audience, you also want to make it easier on you.
Yes.
So this is,
yes.
It's, let's admit it.
Absolutely.
And, StreamYard is one of the primary options you do have if you want to run a video live event on LinkedIn, because LinkedIn does not have a native way to have video. Like if you are familiar with LinkedIn audio events, you can do that within LinkedIn. But if it's a live video, you need to use a third-party streamer like Streamyard is. And there are a couple of options that many people use. I was introduced to Streamyard by Sally, that you know as well. And then I, did my own research, and I was just like, this one makes the most sense, because you have the opportunity, like we were talking, you can just keep people on LinkedIn. So if people sign up and they're attending, then they just need to go to the event page. They're going to get the notification, hey, this event is starting. Mm-hmm. So LinkedIn is doing more of the legwork for you than if mm-hmm. you're going to be hosting outside.
Yeah.
Why not leverage that?
Yeah.
I'm your
So it's true that doing this, you don't have people's emails, because for me, the goal of holding also live event is in the follow-up, right? Because these people who are showing up for your live events are hot leads. They are interested in what you have to say. They like what you are saying. They are taking the time out of their busy schedule to come and listen to what you have to say. So you want to make sure also that you can continue the conversation with them after. So that's why it's nice to use Zoom, because you have their emails. But if you are doing this with StreamYards on LinkedIn, you can go and look at the list of people who attended or mark themselves as attendees, and you can reach out in the DMs.
Yes, I try to do that now after most of my lives. And, if it's somebody that I already have a lot of conversation with, I may not reach out to this person right away because we already have regular conversation. Like if you show up to one of my events, I may not just reach out to your DMs and go back with it because we're naturally going to talk about it. But like if I see people that I'm not already connected with and I've seen that they express their interest, I'm highly likely to just reach out and ask for connecting and, engage the conversation. I also want to know what was the biggest takeaway for them and, what maybe they didn't get an answer about. So indeed, it might take you more time to do that. But as you said, the follow-up is gold. It's not just, you don't just drop a video like a hot potato and then run the opposite direction. That would be a shame and a waste of time.
All right, back to Streamyard. Are we going to dive into the technical side?
Yes, I have teas, so I can talk a little bit about the technical side. So one of the key benefits about Streamyard, if you're interested in running LinkedIn Lives, and also know this may be something if you run elsewhere, but we typically are going to talk about it for LinkedIn Lives because LinkedIn does not have a native option, is that you can start with the free version. It's like if you want to get a feel for it, you do not have to be like, oh, it's going to be another expense right away. Personally, it's one of my best expenses as a business owner, as somebody who does so much video. But I did start with the free option. So with the free options, you are able to connect to one social media platform, one destination, which in this case would be LinkedIn, like it was for me. You are able to have multiple speakers even on the free plan. So this is really good. Like you were saying, and something I really like is you don't have to start on your own. You can completely grab a buddy, whether they're super experienced or not, and just be like, hey, let's do this together. You don't have to be deer in the headlights on your own. I promise. So there really is that option. And so that can help you, get a starting point. But where I typically recommend going for the paid plan and like the cheapest paid plan, the $25 a month paid plan. So for full transparency, which is what I use, is that it's going to allow you to stream to up to 3 destinations, which in my case, I only have 2 at this point, is LinkedIn and YouTube. Because if you do live and you're able to stream to multiple destinations, I highly recommend that you also share your live session on YouTube to build your video library there as well. But it's not the topic of today, but just I highly recommend if you can do that.
Yeah, it's important because you got me started with the free version. And then I quickly realized, hey, I want to be able to repurpose this. Like you preach every day that you should repurpose your video content. And you helped me launch my YouTube channel. And now I really appreciate that. Okay, I put in the effort to come live on LinkedIn, but I am building my YouTube channel, which is fantastic. There is a question from Lorna here. I get notifications about people going live on LinkedIn. Does that happen when you use Streamyard?
Yes, because it's linked. The Streamyard is directly attached to your LinkedIn event. So it's completely seamlessly integrated. Like people who are going to come to your live have no idea you're using Streamyard unless you use the free version and they see the logo.
Here, I could have done this.
This is fine. But yes, if you use Streamyard, as long as you have your LinkedIn event set up, which you need, and I will show you a tiny demonstration at the end of this training, you're going to get the notification. Because these people, anyone who goes live on LinkedIn has to use a third-party streamer. Many of them use Streamyard.
Great question, Lorna. Thank you.
So yeah, the free key benefits, I would say, to the paid version and why I advocate for it. Now, based on experience, again, you can start with the free version. For me, the free things are like that you can stream to multiple platforms. So in LinkedIn and YouTube, in my case, you get the recording of your live, which you may not think it's important. If you're like, well, I'm already streaming to everywhere I want from the start. But when you get the recording, first of all, if you have a guest, that's a practice I do. If I have a guest, I'm always going to share the recording with them, whatever they may be using or not. They may not be using StreamYard, have a YouTube channel. Best practice, hey, have the recording, do whatever you want with it. You were here, you made the effort, you provided value, have it. And also your recording, something I do a lot is that I'm going to upload this recording in Vidio, which is an AI tool that auto-generate a lot of vertical shorts, which basically turns your long form horizontal video into vertical shorts that you can repurpose elsewhere. And that's why if I did not have the recording, I would not be able to take that step.
We should make an event on that, because that's...
I was thinking about that too.
Coming up.
So coming up, and then the third key benefits for that is if you do regular collaborations, you can give permission to your guest to stream it to their own destination. Case in point, Sophie is today's host, but she gave me the permission as the guest to stream to my own destination. Since we did have a LinkedIn event, I am not streaming to my own LinkedIn because that would be redundant. That may create confusion. I just wanted to make sure everyone went to our event page. But I am streaming right now to my own YouTube channel because I sometimes have people already watching on YouTube as well. And then I will not have to upload the recording afterwards.
Yeah. All right. So all good stuff. Were you going to share your screen and show us something?
Yes, just give me a little second so I get not completely lost with with all my everything.
So you were going to show us now how to actually create an event in StreamYard and link it to an event on LinkedIn.
Yes.
All right.
And I think that you should be good to show the screen. I cannot look. I only have one monitor. I'm old-fashioned right now. So tell me if my StreamYard. Okay, perfect.
We are good. Go ahead. Okay. You can see we are inside your StreamYard studio now.
Yes. So this is where I have my streams and recording. We are in the upcoming version. Just for a quick example, past, if I go to past, this is all the history of my everything, every live I've done on LinkedIn and YouTube. And for example, if you go there, I can download to have the recording. Just a quick thing.
A nice library to have also.
Yes, it's really helpful. But if I go to upcoming, I am going to click on create. So we are going to select a live stream because this is going to be a live event. I am going to choose studio because it will be live and not a pre-recorded that acts as a live stream. Then you can select your destination, which you have set up in your StreamYard account. So for me, that would be my LinkedIn, my YouTube. And then this is why you should always create your LinkedIn event before you create the StreamYard broadcast, because then what you do is use an existing LinkedIn event. I have one that is already created on LinkedIn. That is my next Tuesday stream, Embrace the Winter's Wisdom, that already has the date and the time. I'm going to use selected event. And it's going to pull up like when it is scheduled. It's all grayed out, but I'm just telling you. Then upload the thumbnail. So I have one thumbnail that is already ready that you pick. It's already the right size. And I'm going to apply it. And then you do have an option to customize for each destination. For example, I am not going to touch the LinkedIn event because the LinkedIn event is just fine. I don't have to worry about it. But for example, I'm going to pull up the YouTube one. And normally I will copy past the description from the LinkedIn event plus add my little description and links that I always add on YouTube. I don't have it to copy past right now. I would normally have that, but you can go back and edit that later. Just so you know, you can, for example, for YouTube, you can go directly into your YouTube studio or come back to StreamYard to edit how it looks, because as soon as it's going to be created in YouTube, you can access it as one of your video in your YouTube studio. But in this case, I'm just going to keep it simple, do create live, Yes, I will wait one moment. Thank you, technology. I am not going to push it. And there you see, it's now
And
in my
voila.
upcoming. Boom. And it confirms that I have my LinkedIn, my YouTube, it's scheduled. And
I have a
confirmed
question for you.
Yes.
So at this stage, if you have a guest that is going to come with you, how do you share the link with them?
An excellent question, Sophie. So you see the three little dots on the right?
Yes.
I will do click, invite guest. You see there's the permission that I can toggle on and off. I'm going to toggle it on.
Mm-hmm.
And to say guests can stream this to their own destination, which is a paid feature. But if I did not have a paid account, this would still be possible. And I could just, copy this link, which is the access to the studio, and share it with whoever I am going to have as a guest.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So thank you so much. I just love that you did this on-screen presentation. It's very helpful to see how it's happening. And so what I would like to really stress for our audience who has not used Streamyard before is that one, you create the event on LinkedIn. And then second, you go and create the event into Streamyard and you link the two. I mean, okay, so this is really something very important.
Yes, and a very quick best practice, if you are streaming on LinkedIn and on YouTube, you can use the size of a YouTube thumbnail. The format of a YouTube thumbnail works really nicely as a LinkedIn event banner. That can save you time. That's my trick now. Yeah. So I only create one, and that saves me time.
All right. So would any of the person in the audience have an additional question? Now is the time to ask if you have something that is still nebulous. So I will see your comment appear here in my StreamYard studio. So in the meantime, I wanted to say something important too, is that, okay, you are using a live event to build, increase your visibility, create trust, but also like boost your authority in your industry, boost your credibility. And one best practice to remember, because there are a ton of live events happening, so you want to make sure that in your event description, you really state out what it's going to be about and a quick bullet point with the points that you are going to address during the event. Don't go like, hey, show up, it's going to be a surprise. You really tell people what it's going to happen. So we have a bunch of questions here that came up.
Fantastic.
The first one from Deb, will you talk about Restream by chance? Should we make another event about this?
I personally don't think I would, because I know Restream is generally the other option that most people use instead of StreamYard. I do not use Restream personally. I did some research and StreamYard was a better fit for me. So as such, I would not feel comfortable doing a live on Restream because I don't use it. And to be honest, at this point, I have no interest in using it.
Okay, fair enough. All right, we have another question from Brenda. What are the stream limits on a free plan?
Oh, let me pull that. I have that open right nearby. At least I did. So just give me a split second and I will tell you. So the streaming or recording limit on the free plan are up to 20 hours per month.
We're good.
And for the basic $25 a month, which is the plan I have, you do have unlimited streaming.
All right, so that's plenty enough. All right, thank you so much for this question, Brenda. Another question from Denise. When the event happens, you go to StreamYard and start the event from inside StreamYard, correct?
Yes, Denise, this is how you do it. Once you have set everything up, you are purely going to operate from within the StreamYard studio. And what happens once you're in it, you will get the confirmation of your destination, including LinkedIn, if you do have a LinkedIn event. And then StreamYard does give you the little countdown of when it is. And when it's time to go live, You push the go live button, hope to the gods of technology that you actually go live, and then it's everywhere that you want it to be. And the same, we will end the stream from within StreamYard.
All right. Thank you so much. Great question, Denise. We have one more question from Lorna. How often would you suggest going live on LinkedIn? So we are different, Natasha and I. Natasha is really the video sorceress. So she's really big on videos. She will answer that. But for me, I go 2 times a month for now. I do one collab with Natasha every month. And then I have 1 or 2 other events that I either do alone or I invite another guest expert. So what about you, Natasha?
So what I would recommend is, like, if you're just starting out, at least once a month is going to be solid, especially if you're, not sure at first or anything. And if you're able to do once a month, it's already going to help you, have content to repurpose. Ideally, if this is your main way of creating videos and long form video, I would recommend twice a month, because if you do twice a month during your off week, you can, build on the replay of the event that happened, announce the upcoming one. And if you're going to repurpose in shorter video, that's also a way, especially if you're building YouTube, that you can really continue to build with only 2 lives a month. So I would say at least once a month if you're really starting out, and if you're doing other type of events, maybe offline or other type of video. But if your LinkedIn lives are going to be have a more important role in your video strategy, once every other week would probably be a really sweet spot to get started, provide value, stay top of mind, and still have a lot of content you can repurpose.
Yeah. All right. Love your answer, Natasha. One more question. Do you recommend pre-recording and then putting on the event? Lorna, we are talking about live event here.
I know some people do like the fake live where we're going to have the pre-record something and then sometimes show live in the comments or something. But to me, the whole point of being live is being fully live when you're doing the delivery. Sometimes it needs cat butts in my face, but it's still like, I think that there is beauty and value in both purely pre-recorded. In that case, I would just say it's going to be a training video you put directly on YouTube, post in your membership community, or, it's part of your digital course. But if you're going to do live, own it. Show up and do the live, because I think this is really the value of the live. It doesn't mean you cannot repurpose a live letter into like a lead magnet or, a digital resources. But when you're going to do it first, at least, I would really encourage you to just do the live.
And, go with a buddy. I know it's really scary the first time to go alone. Totally. So, but like going with a buddy, it's really helping. And, stuff happens. I've had technical problem. I kicked myself out of a live. I don't know how I managed to do
you did
this.
better than me then.
I had to come back in, but you just laugh and you continue. Own it. Love it. Yes, absolutely. I love what Brenda is saying.
I completely blanked during one of my live. I was exhausted. My brain shut down. And I just made the joke. I was like, okay, I don't think I had enough tea yet. Give me 2 seconds to cobble my brain cells and we'll be back on track. I literally blanked. One day I was that tired.
Another good question from Lorna. How are the questions showing up? Well, so we are inside the Streamyard studio. On my left, I have the screen where I see Natasha and myself. And on the right, I have a column here on the right side, and I see all of your comments.
And I actually realized, because most of the time I'm the host, so I never realized if the guests could see them, but I can actually see the question too.
Okay.
So I just learned something, because most of the time I'm the host.
We learn every day. All right.
Also, a tiny quick thing to go on your question, Lorna, is that we will see the question showing up with the source, like whether they're from LinkedIn or from YouTube. We're going to see the source. And if you are doing the video from StreamYard, if you put if you put comments in the chat from within StreamYard, it can show up on YouTube, but for example, at this point, it will not show up on LinkedIn, which is why if I want to share a link while I'm delivering a LinkedIn Live, I will tell the audience, I will drop the link on the event page afterwards, because I will have to go directly into LinkedIn. But that's a very tiny price to pay for all the other benefits. And as you've seen with Sophie, we do have the option to highlight a comment and bring it up to screen.
I love this. I love this little feature. All right. Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much, everyone who showed up live. If you did not, there will be a replay, of course. It's the whole point. And that will be uploaded to our YouTube channels as well. I want to thank you so much, Natasha, for coming today and sharing your technical wisdom around live videos.
And it's always a pleasure to talk about all good things video and other entrepreneurial pursuit with you, Sophie. So thank you for your suggestion that we did that. Thank you, everybody, for your questions. And yes, and you were mentioning a replay. I would also say that always make sure you have a replay available if you're going to do a live, because we have global audiences now with people across the world, even within the US. Multiple time zones, and we all have lives, whether it's other commitments or stuff happens. So having the replay in one form or the other is really a beautiful form of courtesy. So thank you, everyone.
All right, thank you. See you later, Natasha.
See you.